Hi, hello, it's me, Tiana, back at it again for another video, and today we are talking about David Dobrik. Alright, so before I get started, if you're new here, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. I feel like I should be saying like subscribe at the beginning of the video, but I never remember to, so I'm remembering to today. If this is your first video of mine you've ever watched, please subscribe. I post weekly about whatever is on my mind. Typically is related to like social media and like internet media stuff, and like TV and movies and like culture. It's cultural commentary, I guess. I post videos weekly, typically on Tuesday. Yeah, subscribe. If you're not new here and if you're not new here, hey, thanks for coming back. I truly appreciate the people who watch my videos, like as soon as I post them and like comment and stuff, because sometimes making YouTube videos when you have like a very small following, it feels like you're kind of talking to yourself, so it's really great when people talk back, I guess. So yeah, whether you're new here, whether you're subscribed or not, please feel free to comment whatever you think, whatever you feel about anything that I say in this video, positive or negative, because I'm not somebody who is like not able to take criticism. Anyway, so today, like I said, we're talking about David Dobrik. It's really interesting that I'm doing a video talking about David Dobrik because I really have like neutral to negative feelings about David Dobrik, and I feel like I only ever do a video about somebody specifically when I have like super passionate feelings, either positive or negative, about them. You know, I did the Ariana Grande video because I really like Ariana Grande. I did the Taylor Swift video because I do like Taylor Swift, but you know, something she did like really rubbed me the wrong way. I did the Gabby Hanna video because even though I'm not a super big fan of Gabby herself, I feel like the situation that she was in was like annoying for me, and like I felt strongly about the way people were treating her on the internet. But with this David Dobrik video, the reason why I want to talk about David Dobrik is specifically more about like the fan reaction and sort of the internet culture around people like David Dobrik, and I'm kind of just using him as like the most recent example, but by no means is this David Dobrik the only person who operates in the way that I'm about to describe. But he's just the latest person for other people to start to catch on to like the way that he moves and try to start to, you know, call him out for some of his more toxic behaviors. As you can tell by the title, I'm talking about how I feel like David Dobrik is toxic, and the way that he runs his business is toxic. So I guess I'll just start with the situation that everybody is talking about right now, which is the Seth and Big NIck situation. Basically, if you were on YouTube, even like moderately during any time between like I would say 2017 to like 2019, you know who David Dobrik is. You know David Dobrik vlogs. He was like or he might still be like the biggest YouTuber, even though he hasn't like posted a YouTube video on his vlog channel in a year maybe, since like all the COVID stuff, and he stopped posting because his vlogs like relied heavily on being out in the world and interacting with people. So it makes sense for him not to be doing vlogs during the pandemic, because you can't really be out in the world interacting with people during a global pandemic, right? So in his vlogs, it's typically just him filming his friends doing all kind of activities, interacting with people in the world, and just like the funny shenanigans that they get into. He did a lot of pranks. He did a lot of like animal adventure type stuff where he would just have like random wild animals and being invited, coming to his house, and like I don't really know if it's a prank, and I'm gonna talk about pranks in a second when we'll get there, but like I don't necessarily know if like the animal stuff would still be considered a prank, but like he would have animals, he would have he would like come up and speak to like random like people who are like super drunk, or you know, just like off in some way and used them for entertainment. He also very frequently paid people to do stuff that they wouldn't normally do, which again goes back to the toxicity and problematic nature of his vlogs in general, but we'll get there. And he had like a cast of characters who were his friends, who he included in these vlogs that did most of the activities. Almost none of David's vlogs were specifically about David doing really anything. It was more about him capturing these moments of his friends. It was kind of like you were watching like home videos or something like that. Like it had a very personal nature, even though a lot of like the activities, especially as the vlogs like grew more popularity, were more and more scripted and more like obviously scripted than they were in the past. It still felt very much like you were watching a group of friends living their normal lives in LA, a bunch of, you know, really rich young people like just having the best time in their lives, and you got a sense of FOMO from watching them, like, oh, I wish I could be friends with David, I wish I, you know, could be doing these activities, you know. It all seemed like so fun, right? I never really watched I didn't watch him religiously. My sister was a big fan of David Dobrik. As I said in my Gabby Hanna video, which if you want to know more about like my thoughts, like some other thoughts that I had about David and the Vlog Squad and their dynamic, I did talk about that a little bit in the video I did about Gabby Hanna, which I will put in the eye. But my sister was the one that was the fan, and I watched videos that she had sent to me, and also she I liked the videos where he was like buying people stuff or giving people stuff. So any vlog in which she watched that he like gave something away, she would send those to me, so I watched those. But I won't sit here and act like I was a David Dobrik friend, right? So anyways, in this cast of characters, you had these two people, Seth and Big NIck. So Seth was literally the only Black person that had ever been in the vlogs. There are other people of color in the vlogs. I won't sit here and act like it's a whole group of white people. He was the only Black person that was ever affiliated with the group, and from what I can see, or from what I've seen, I should say. And his inclusion in the vlogs included a lot of racial. I want to clean it up. I want to like give people the benefit of the doubt, but the jokes were blatantly racist. Every single time he was included in any joke, it was very specifically tied to his race. They never did, like when he did a joke with Scotty, it was like, oh, nobody likes Scotty, that's the joke, right? If he did a joke with Zane, it was like, oh, Zane is always drunk, that's the joke. Like each person got to be like these caricatures of probably who they really were, where they gave you like a heightened character based on probably a quality that you actually had. So maybe because Scotty was you know, he talks a lot about like mental health, and he might be more withdrawn or more of like a downer in situations because he has mental health struggles, then he gets to be the one that people don't want to be around, because that's the joke, right? And again with Zane, I won't necessarily say Zane has a drinking problem, but he might be the one that's like, maybe we should get shots, right? The first one who's always like encouraging people to drink. So his character became, I'm the drunk. Seth's character was that he was Black. That was the extent of the character that they gave to him. They didn't make it. Seth also had like a sort of ditzy personality. Like the way that he presented sometimes made it seem like he was like airheaded. But Todd was already the dumb one, so he couldn't even get that. He just had to be Black. That was his thing. He was Black. They made literally every single video I ever saw that had Seth in it, it was a racist joke pertaining to Seth, right? And Seth has since come out after years of not being in the vlog. I think he was last in the vlog in like 2018 or 2019. He has since come out and said that like it was very traumatizing to him to be involved in this process. He felt like him allowing David to make these sort of jokes in the vlogs made people feel more comfortable making those sort of jokes to him in real life, right? And I don't necessarily blame David for that, in part because people should know better. Like there are things, this is the thing about the whole N-word conversation and people not understanding, like, in community words. Like, there are things that my mother can say to me that a stranger on the street cannot say to me. There are things that my best friend can say to me that people on the street cannot say to me. And that's the same thing with the jokes. Like, if Seth was okay with David making those jokes in that context, then that's Seth's business. But when he goes out into the street and he has strangers harassing him with these same sort of racial jokes, it doesn't hit the same. It's not the same. It becomes traumatizing. I can honestly, as much as I can say about my thoughts about Seth, that I won't. Like, I can 100% understand how being okay with something in one context is not the same as being okay with it generally, and how him allowing David, or participating, I won't say allowing, and we'll get to why I won't say allowing, but him participating in these racist jokes for David's vlogs is not the same as him being okay with being attacked racially in his regular, normal, everyday life, right? And then there was another situation in which David had did this prank, in which the prank was that Seth thought that he was kissing Corinna, but it was actually Jason in a mask, right? And the thing that everybody is like harping on in this situation is the whether or not this was sexually assaulting, because he was being told and consented to kissing a woman, and also not just a woman or any woman, but a specific woman. It was very, like, I saw the vlog when it aired. It was very specific about him, like, having a crush on Corinna, or like kind of liking Corinna, and specifically agreeing to do the kiss on camera because it was Corinna. And then having it not only not be Corinna, but it be a man, and violating his trust, honestly, and assaulting him, because it was assault. I see so many people who are doing videos talking about the situation, who are trying to, like, play both sides of it, especially after the Scotty video came out with his defense of David Dobrik. And people are trying to play both sides of it and be like, well, Seth did this or Seth said this. But first of all, the first kiss, when he kissed Jason, the original prank when he thought he was kissing Corinna, he was kissing Jason, was sexual assault. It just was. He did not consent to kissing Jason. And first of all, what is the joke? Like, that's the thing that irritates me about people who make pranks as, like, their only content, or like the majority of their content. At some point, it turns from like a laughing, haha, joking thing where, you know, everybody gets the joke, or it's like mildly annoying if you're the one that's being pranked, but, you know, people can laugh at it, to it just being blatantly, like, illegal things being done to people. Like, it's assault, or you, like, I'm pranking you that I'm cheating on you, so, like, you're emotionally, like, distraught, or you, like, assault somebody because you think that they're cheating, or that they're, you know, you're being harmed, or you're lying about passing out, or, and, like, the joke becomes this person is traumatized. And I'm just like, what's funny about seeing people you love or people you care about traumatized? So it was, the first instance was blatantly assault. It just was. The second instance, he at the end of the original situation, David told Seth that he wanted to try to prank him with that same prank again. And there is a clip that Scott included in his video, and that I've seen a lot of other people who did videos talking about the situation included, of Seth basically giving his consent for David to try again. However, in the video that they're showing, it actually shows the exact opposite of what people are trying to say. In the video, Seth says, I don't understand how I'm supposed to give you permission to do something I'm not going to know you're doing. That's literally verbatim what he says. And maybe it was more to the conversation. Maybe there was another part where he was like, sure, try it. I have no fun. I have no problem kissing whoever you want me to kiss. That's not what's being shown as the proof that Seth gave permission. What's being shown as proof is him blatantly saying that he's being coerced into giving consent to something that he is uncomfortable with. And then the third instance, right, where after the second time where he did, David did prank him again. It was, he thought that he had got a commercial, and he was like an inspiring actor. He thought that he was going to get this commercial, and David set up this whole prank, and to actually, like, it not be a real commercial, but he again has to kiss David Dobrik. I mean, he has to kiss Jason Nash. And the thing is, also in that video, why is he kissing monkeys? What is... I'm just gonna leave that there, because I don't know that I watched that video originally, and from my understanding it's no longer on David's vlog, so I'm not even gonna look for it because I don't care. But something about that don't sit right in my spirit, that they got this black man kissing monkeys in a commercial. I don't like that. But anyways, so there was a third instance after the second instance in which Seth reached out to David and said that he would be okay with a third try of this prank. However, in these very same text messages that David sent to Scott to use in his video, because we hear David scrolling through his... We see David in the video scrolling through his text messages and speaking over, like, saying what's actually on the message. We hear his voice, so we know that David is the one that created this video and sent it to Scott for inclusion in Scott's video defending him, which is like, defend yourself. If you didn't do anything wrong, if you know what you didn't do, if you know that you have, like, no issue with going on the record saying you didn't do anything wrong, then make a video yourself. But whatever. So... In that video, we have Seth saying that he's thought more about it, in that he would be okay with trying to do it a third time. And to me, that again feels like coercion of him feeling like he was being pressured into allowing someone to do this prank to him again, and him saying okay, not because he was okay with it, but because he felt like he was pressured to do it. Like, let's talk about Big NIck really quick, and then I'll loop back to this. So Big NIck talked about in his interview, talking about his issues with David. He talked about how, again, in the same situation, his persona in the vlogs was that he was a little person. He has dwarfism, and that was the butt of every joke about Big NIck, was the fact that he had dwarfism. So he, again, was fine and okay with these jokes in the context of, this is for a video, this is my friend who's making these jokes, I'm a part of the joke writing process, I'm a part of the content creation, I have agency in this space to going out into the world and having people use that same against him. And then when he came to a place where it was like unbearable for him to continue to have to deal with this, he went to David and said that he no longer wanted to be used in this way in the vlogs, and he stated that that was the last time that he was ever asked to be in the vlogs. And if you are someone who is in this industry and you know that your connections and who you are around is what gives you like cachet in this industry, you feel like you can't burn certain bridges, you can't have certain enemies, that you have to do stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do of your own volition to keep relationships positive. So we have Big NIck, who is like, okay, I this is making me uncomfortable, it's making it harder for me to move around in the world, I no longer want to be a part of this, and then he's no longer allowed to be in the vlogs. And we have Seth, who's in a similar situation where he has this thing that they keep pressuring him to be a part of, but it makes him uncomfortable. But he feels like if he says no, if he puts that hard boundary and stated that he would no longer participate in the things that made him uncomfortable that David was wanting him to do, then it becomes a thing like, okay, so am I not going to be invited back to, you know, do more videos? Am I gonna lose like access to this platform? Am I going to be like made uncomfortable, or like, you know, am I not going to be allowed in spaces that I used to be allowed in because I made myself or my needs like apparent? And like, the thing is, people can understand this when it comes to like celebrities saying, yeah, you know, this director made me uncomfortable, but I felt like I had to just do it because that's what the director, you know, wanted me to do, and I was, you know, working on this project and contracts or whatever. And people can understand this when people you know, say this about like just like models and like, you know, photographers or like any other situation where you're an employee having to listen to an employer, but because YouTube is so, I guess, nebulous, and so like you can one day, like, somebody can be like the big dog, and then the next day it can be somebody else. It fluctuates so differently. Like, people feel like the power dynamic is not the same, but it is. If you are somebody who has the bigger platform, you have people who make their like living off of being tangentially related to you, then you have power in that relationship and the ability to make it so people can't get to where they want to be or have what they want to have if they don't bow to your needs. And the thing is, people are trying to discredit both Big Nick and Seth by saying that they participated in these situations and that now that they're not at whatever peak that they feel like they could be at, specifically harping on Seth saying that as long as David has him clouded up or whatever, that he would still like he would be okay with doing that prank or whatever, without understanding that that's literally the point, that he feels like he can only like make a living if he does what David wants him to do. But David has a pattern of continuously doing this with not just Seth and Big Nick, but with almost everybody else in the vlog squad. And it's crazy that people are like trying to act like they're blind to it or they didn't notice it, because it's not something that's ever been hidden. Or like in multiple videos that Carly and Aaron have done, where they've talked about like their relationship to the vlog squad, they obviously have not said that, they've said like explicitly they don't work for David doesn't give them a check. However, they all have said, every person in the vlog squad at some point or another have said that they've had to do bits or things that they were uncomfortable with or didn't truly like to do or didn't want to do because it's what David wanted them to do. Carly and Aaron has talked a lot about how the animal pranks of literally just putting an animal on somebody and like scaring them, which I still don't know what the prank is on that, but like they've both said that those sort of pranks like make them like truly scared and give them, you know, anxiety, and they hate those kind of pranks, and that they would feel like dread at the pit of their stomach anytime David invited them over to his house, because they were afraid that he was going to do one of those types of pranks. And it's like because they still are associated with David and they still have like a positive relationship with David, people are able to just brush that off as like, haha, you know, I don't like that kind of, they just don't like that kind of prank or whatever. But it's not like they hate David or they feel like attacked or whatever by those pranks. However, you can see that that is a toxic situation of them feeling like if they want to be involved in David's vlogs, if they want to be, you know, around David, they have to be okay with him violating their ability to say no. Like, they're not able to say, no, I don't want to do this project, or no, I don't want to be pranked in this way. They have to sort of have this nebulous consent of knowing that if they go to David's house, that anything could be done to them, and they have to just be okay with it. Jason himself has talked in multiple videos about how he feels like you know, his whole day is determined by what David wants to do, and if David decides that they're going to do something that he doesn't necessarily want to do, he has to choose whether he wants to go by his own like volition and you know, worry about David like replacing him essentially, or if he just wants to like push aside his desire to not do whatever it is and just do it. Like Zayn and Heath have also said in their videos in different situations that they felt like David was like the star of the show, and that they kind of had to keep David happy and do stuff to make David happy. And the fans sort of feed into it too, because I remember when, I don't remember what year it was, but David had like a birthday and they felt like the vlog squad weren't doing enough to celebrate David's birthday, and they felt like because David had bought them all cars and like made them famous and did all these things for them, that they should be going above and beyond and like catering to his every whim because it was his birthday. And like people feed into this toxic narrative of because David is the star or the one who has the most views or the biggest platform, that he is the boss and he's the one that gets to dictate what everybody is going to do. Like, I don't understand why people feel it's so unbelievable that Seth felt like he had to do whatever it is that he was doing in the vlogs, even if it made him uncomfortable, because like I said, literally every member of the vlog squad has said specifically that that's what they felt like. And because a lot of those people are still associated with David, they painted it in a more like joking or like cavalier way, and not like this is really harmful or traumatizing to me. But I bet you if a lot of those people got some distance from the situation and some distance from David, they would be able to look and see and say, you know what, I was uncomfortable in this situation, or I wish I didn't have to do that prank, or you know, it was kind of toxic that I felt every time I went to David's house I had a panic attack. Like, that's not a normal way to deal in like a work situation. If somebody told you, if your friend told you that every time they were going to their job they had like anxiety and a pit in their stomach, you would tell them to find another job. But if Carly and Aaron is saying that about going to David's house, then that's just the business of dealing with David. Like, it's toxic. The situation with the vlog squad has always been toxic. There's always been a power imbalance, and it's always been a situation in which David dictated the mood for everybody. And that was also something that I've seen, I think it was Jason say in a video that he did with Carly and Aaron. I keep mentioning Carly and Aaron because those are the only people in the vlog squad I watch kind of consistently. But in the video that he did with Carly and Aaron, he talked about how it was like a Q&A or like a vlog squad gossip or something, but he talked about how when David is in a bad mood, everybody is in a bad mood, because again, how David moves affects how everybody else moves in the situation. Like the entire, I don't know, I find it very interesting when people try to have these conversations about like toxic YouTubers and like mess that they're in, and they try to act surprised about the actions that some of these YouTubers do. And it's like, if you call yourself a fan of this person, how did you not notice this pattern of behavior? Like I said, I'm a very, very, very casual like watcher of David's videos, and I was very early picked up on these toxic behaviors and also on the racism. Like, literally, it's crazy because like right before in the 2020, like the summer in like June or July of last year, when like the riots and stuff were happening and people were like bullying creators into making apologies about their past racist actions, I was saying to my sister, maybe it was like in May or something, it was whenever it was like first starting to like people were starting to get bullied, I was telling my sister, I was like, it's crazy to me how people are like bringing up people's old tweets and videos and stuff to like drag them, but I don't see people talking about David, because David has so many videos that are just blatantly racist, so many jokes that are just blatantly racist in his videos, and also just the optics of his videos of him not having any sort of interaction with any black people ever in any of his videos. Like, and if he does have interactions with black people in his videos, it's always in a sort of mocking way. Like, it's never like I don't know, I don't trust people who don't have black friends, but that might be because I am black and I have almost all black friends. So like, but I don't trust people who say they're not racist and don't have black friends, because black people are everywhere. Why? You don't know nobody black? You don't have no friend? No, not zero? It's weird to me. It's just weird to me, especially in places like LA or New York or like Miami or like big cities, like when there are like large concentrations of black people, like you have to go out of your way, especially in like the YouTuber creator space, like with somebody like David Dobrik, who has as many subscribers and has access to whoever he wants to have access to go out of your way to not engage with any black creators on the platform is saying something. It just is. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really weird to me that people are acting surprised at the toxicity, and sort of discounting Seth and Big Nick's like stories and feeling like they're unbelievable or whatever. I just, even I have my own issues with Seth, and like the timing of this, and the like the way he went about like telling his story, especially in the beginning, and especially the stuff with like talking about Erin in her like revenge porn video or whatever. Like, I do have my own issues with Seth, but I 100% believe everything that he's saying about his feelings about David, and him like having to have that space and distance from him to realize that a lot of the stuff that he was engaging in was toxic and was like inappropriate. Because regardless of Seth being okay with David making racist jokes, David should have knew better than to make those sort of jokes. Like, I honestly, I never understand people who make racist jokes, even with like other Black people who engage in it. Like, what is to be gained? Like, what benefit is it to make that joke? Even if you have, again with the N-word conversation, even if you have all of your Black friends saying thumbs up, you can do it, you can make the joke, you can say the N-word, you can do whatever, why do you want to? Like, investigate why you feel like making jokes that dehumanize an entire race of people is something that you want to be a part of, like something that you feel like you should have access to. I feel like that says something about the type of person that you are. And it also is very strange to me that we feel like we have to give people space to have racist pasts, that we have to give, you know, these teenagers the space to be racist when they're, you know, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. And then once they're turned 21 and they've made $3 million off of racism, now we get to be like, okay guys, that's enough. And they get to make like a blanket apology, and then we are supposed to move on and never engage it again. Like, they don't have to have any change behavior. They still, you know, move in with toxic, like, in the casual racism, and like we still don't see them engage Black people in any humanizing way. We still don't see them like do anything to be like explicitly anti-racist, but we're supposed to just move on because they're older now and they said sorry, and who cares? And it's, I don't know, I just feel like I see this constant conveyor belt, I guess, of YouTubers who, you know, we see them, and I'm, as a Black person, watching the content, and I'm immediately like, oh, this is racist, or this is toxic, or this is, I didn't even talk about the sexism, the blatant sexism of how he treated both Gabby Hanna and continuously treats Corinna. And like, again, it goes back to this pattern of behavior where Corinna's personality in the vlogs, and Gabby Hanna's, when she was in the vlogs, personality in the vlog was just that she was a hoe, and they told consistent misogynistic jokes to both Gabby Hanna and to Corinna Koff. And then once they moved into other spaces on the internet, they had to deal with people being extremely misogynistic and slut shaming towards them. And it's like, you know, yeah, sometimes you do engage. They were like making the jokes with them, and they were going along with those jokes, but like at a certain point, it's like you can see that these women are being harassed, and you continue to make these jokes. You don't stand up for them. You don't say, hey, you know, this is a vlog thing, this is not a real like thing. Or even if it is a real personality, that, you know, this is how we talk to each other because we're friends, you shouldn't talk to her like this. No, you don't do anything like that. And that's the other part that really annoys me about David. I kind of respect it, but also I feel like it shows so much self-restraint that I'll never have, of him just never addressing any issue that people have with him, of him just acting like it's not happening and tweeting through it, like just acting like it didn't happen. Like, I don't know, I can respect being able to understand that everything doesn't require your response, but like some of this stuff requires your response. And I feel like maybe we're getting to a place where he might have to respond to this. So if he puts up a response, to the situation after I post my video, then I guess I'll talk about it. But I might not talk about it because I don't like to do more than one video about somebody like back to back, because then it kind of feels like piling on. But like, I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts and I feel like I covered most of them. I just feel like David Dobrik is not like, this is not like some new crazy out of the box accusation. Like, a lot of the accusations that both Seth and Big NIck have put forth are supported by David's own vlogs, and you can say whatever, like that these are characters that they're playing, or that, you know, they were in the vlogs, they were there, they were okay with it at the time. It does not mean that they were comfortable with this being like their you've seen him multiple times in videos pay people to let him keep stuff in the videos, or tell people that he would like shout them out or put their, you know, social in his like description box if they let him keep something in that they did not want. We've seen him blatantly tell people that he wasn't going to delete stuff or remove stuff from the vlog even though it made them uncomfortable, or they, you know, just asked him not to use it. Like, for people to act like it is just crazy for Seth to be like he felt like he was pressured to participate in like dehumanizing pranks and stunts and jokes in this thing, and like it was harmful to his psyche. And the same thing with Big NIck, of feeling like because he laughed at the joke on camera, or because, you know, when it happened he didn't like burn David's house to the ground, or whatever y'all feel like they should have, however y'all feel like they should have reacted in this situation. Like, their claims are supported by David's own vlogs. Their claims are supported by David's own actions. It doesn't really take a super genius to be able to put the pieces together to say that this is probably true of what they're saying about their feelings and the power imbalance in that friend group, if you can really call it a friend group, because like at the end of the day they are employees of David. Like, honestly, because a lot of them, and like at this point in 2021, most of them have like over 1 million subscribers on their own. Carly and Aaron have pretty much separated themselves from the Vlog Squad, even though if you ask them, they still say they are in the Vlog Squad. I think they just recently did a video like talking about whether they were still in the Vlog Squad, but they're still friends with David, but they don't include anybody from the Vlog Squad in their videos anymore, even though they very clearly could. I don't know if that was a conscious choice or just a logistics choice of, you know, it's easier for them to put stuff together with just them two, or like because they don't go to like other people's house, like they're taking the panoramic seriously. It's easier for them to just put like the feeds of 2 computers together versus trying to like feed in 3, 4, 5 people for the videos. But they've kind of separated themselves and kind of have their own brand separate from the Vlog Squad. The same thing with Heath and Zane. Heath and Zane are also extremely racist. And have made very racist jokes, independent of David's vlogs, and like in the David vlogs, like with David, and like their whole persona of their Florida backwood trash. It's a lot of it rubs me the wrong way as a Black woman, but this video is not about them, so we'll move on. But a lot of them now have their own personas and brands separate from David, so they're able to, you know, say no more and have more distance between him and what they're doing, because they have built themselves up. But during that time period, during that 2017, 2018, 2019 time period, when he was at millions of subscribers and they were just at like 100,000 subscribers, and they needed him for exposure and clout, as the kids say, there was very much a very distinct power imbalance, and David used that in a lot of ways to his benefit. He just did. So yeah, that is it. That is all. Again, please subscribe if you like my content. Weekly videos, typically on Tuesdays, about whatever in the world that I'm thinking about. And you might get 2 videos this week, but I don't know. I can't count on myself to be productive. Like this video if you like this content. In the comments, tell me what you think. Do you feel like you saw these signs of David being toxic before, or were you truly shocked when you saw Seth come out and say something about like how he felt in the vlogs? It's crazy because I watching the vlogs is like, I'm very uncomfortable with the way they use Seth in these vlogs, but I was like not harping on it too much because Seth seemed like he was fine with it. But now that I see that Seth was also uncomfortable with it, I kind of sort of feel validated, because I'm like, when I was watching the videos, I'm like, this is a choice. This is a choice that I feel like you shouldn't be making, but it's a choice. So yeah, tell me if you were truly surprised by what Seth and Big Nick were saying, or if you, like me, kind of saw the DNA of this in these videos coming. Yeah, so I guess that's it, and I'll see you in the next